Why are you here?
I think that Hitler is still alive.
Hitler's dead, Jonah.
Says who, the Russians? They found his body and just simply burned it? You really believe that? He's living down in South America.
I'm in. But we're your friends.
Cover your ears!
This question goes out to both of you. Tiffany, I'll start with you. What was your inspiration behind creating these incredible characters, and what purpose did you want to give them?
For me, at least season one, the tone of the show was very much like graphic novel, and like it was very heightened, right? And so, and yet the stakes are very real. And I feel like, who Roxy is a really grounded person. So for me, the inspirations for her were like the female leaders of the Black liberation movement and like Blaxploitation women, like the characters that Pam Grier played. So it's like emotionally, she's in this really grounded place, and she's really focused, and she's really affected by the world around her. She's this activist, but like her style and the way she moves and the way she talks was really like heavily influenced by like Pam Grier.
The inspiration, well, David and I started talking about this character before, in great depth before season one even. And, somewhere along the line, he changed the last name of this character to Mizushima. And in Japanese, Mizu means water and Shima means island. And David explained to me that Joe is like a little island in the middle of this vast ocean. And we talked about how, here's a man who's been marginalized by his own country, by the own military that he's fought for, discriminated against, even within his own troop. And so what happens to a person like that when you keep kind of tearing away at his psyche, just keep tearing away? And he's in a very vulnerable place at the end of season one. And then in season two, the Nazis kind of sweep in and say, hey, we can use this guy to our best advantage. Let's see what monster lies beneath, let's see what happens when we let this guy go free.
I mean, for a character like that, and a lot of actors will tell you this, I don't think I'm spilling any trade secrets. Sometimes you have to find the shoes or the right jacket. And when I remember my first wardrobe fitting and I realized the kind of clothes I'd be wearing, and I had just come from, I'd grown out this big beard. So we shaved the big chops and the mustache. And I just looked at myself in those clothes with that facial hair, and my walk changed, my voice changed. Like I could just feel, I almost found him from the outside in.
If we want to get that monster's mustache on a hike, we need to work together.
What'll it be? Suffocation? Strangulation? Skull up the...
I love it when you try to flirt.
What has been the most challenging part for you about playing this character?
I don't know where to start with that. It's weird portraying the face of evil on a show that feels so pertinent to society nowadays. I guess naively thought that history was behind us and fascism as a concept was behind us, but the pandemic and the post-pandemic life we live in only serves to make that illusion dispel in my mind. It's weird playing a character that embodies that and trying to give truth and trying to empathize with that character, understand him, and portray him as truthfully as possible. It's weird.
They will do everything in their power to find us.
He'll be waiting for us with an army.
This is gonna be a long night.
This is the way.
I'm curious, you hear these stories from your grandmother, and I know you said at first you saw this kind of like a comic book, but how did your idea go from that to creating this brilliant story of hunters?
How did it go from, idea or dream, conceit, to this realized product? There were many steps. I think the first and most important was just how committed I was to trying to tell my grandmother's story in some way. How, back in 2014, 2015, when I was writing this, when getting any show made was this wild, crazy dream that would likely never happen. her sort of spirit and just her inspiration fueled me, right, to want to do anything and everything I could to realize and continue her story in some way. And then you bring in somebody like Jordan Peele, who really made this a reality, and with Jennifer Salke at Amazon as well, Al Pacino. I mean, these incredible luminaries, these creative geniuses who saw something in this story, saw the urgency of it, and I think the soul within it, and the importance of it, and wanted to will it to life.
Join us.